You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into another high school preview show. This one with Coach Beckley at Camden High School. What's going on, Coach?
How we doing? Really excited to be here with you guys. I know you all do a lot of really good things for high school baseball in South Carolina. Just honored to be a part of what you're doing today. So thank you for having us.
No doubt. Fired up to kind of get you on the show here, Coach. We'll kind of jump in. Me and Espo will rotate here. Well, let's talk about last year a little bit, last year's team and what you guys accomplished.
Well, we were 16-13 overall, which obviously is not going to light up anybody's radar, but we do play a really, really tough schedule. And I always feel like that's something that we've always done here to try and help us get ready for the playoffs. Unfortunately, we didn't do real well in the playoffs. We went 1-2. So that's how you're going to be judged. And, we've got a lot of improving to do, but we are very excited about this year's group. We did finish in second place. We were 8-2 in our conference. Lake City ended up winning the conference last year. We had two unbelievable games against Lake City. Both of them went into extra innings, I believe. I know the one at our place did. No, over at their place, it wasn't extra innings, but it was a close game as well. And then we split with Marlboro County as well, who finished in third. So that was kind of our conference play. 8-2, finished second, and then 16-13 overall. So looking forward to trying to improve on both for this year.
No doubt, man. So talking about kind of improving and jumping forward, talk about some returners you got coming to the club, back to the club this year that you're looking to step up and take some jumps for you guys.
Yes, sir. We'll start with our pitchers. Buyer Ware is a guy who was an all-conference pitcher for us last year. He played some third base and DH'd a lot for us. He'll be back. Kind of think of him possibly as being our ace going into this season, but we also have two other guys that have a lot of experience pitching. Buyer is a senior this year. Also, left-handed pitcher Campbell Denton will be returning. He had a really good summer with the Junior Legion team and really started off great for us last year, but kind of struggled towards the end. He has worked really, really hard. He's a great kid that just really is eat up with baseball and the work ethic part. So I really feel like that's going to pay off for him, and I'm excited about him this year. Junior Zachariah Haney will be back. He's been an outfielder for us, predominantly kind of a backup catcher last year, but he really has tremendous potential as a catcher. We expect him to carry the load behind the plate, but also to be one of our top pitchers. He was kind of our closer last year. Not really sure if he'll continue with that or probably move into a starting role. Cade Martirano is an up-and-coming kid that did really well for our JV. Actually got a little bit of time in the playoffs for us last year when we moved him up. So we feel like those four guys are going to be a real big part of our pitching staff for this year. Cade Bell is a senior shortstop for us. Just a really, really gritty, tough kid that is a phenomenal defender. He's actually going to be going to St. Andrews, has signed with St. Andrews College, and is going to be going up there. So we're really excited about him filling up that middle infield spot at shortstop. Second base, there's a good chance we may have a freshman starting there named Brady Furness. If not, maybe a couple other rising JV players that could possibly jump in there. Brian Elliott is a chance of moving in at second base, maybe fit more towards third base, depending on who's going to be pitching. We may adjust some guys in that situation. In center field, really, our outfield, we feel like it's got a chance to be really special. Defensively, Aiden Harriet was a really good football player in the fall, and it's going to be probably going to play college football somewhere. But really is a great defender in center field for us. He's a senior. Shiver Huggins was injured last year and did not play, but he was a starting center fielder for us as a sophomore. So we're expecting him to come back and probably play right field. Wyatt Thompson is another that could possibly jump out there in the outfield. Campbell Denton can play in the outfield when he's not pitching. At first base, we're kind of looking at maybe Buyer Ware going over to first base this year, or senior Camden Washington. Got a junior moving up from the JV, Caleb Johnson, that could possibly play there. So those are kind of a lot of the guys. We also maybe when Haney pitches, we're looking at Mac Melichamp, who's a sophomore, possibly playing catcher whenever Haney pitches. So those are a lot of names of guys that we have returning. Hopefully I didn't forget any of those guys. Kind of trying not to cheat too much by looking at my sheet, but just kind of talking off the top of my head there.
So you've got those returners coming in. What about newcomers that you expect that can make a big impact on this year's team?
Yeah, I'm really excited about junior Cade Martirano. He's not necessarily a velo guy, but really throws a lot of strikes and has really good off-speed pitches. Has really worked hard in the off-season, especially developing his changeup. He's already had a pretty good curveball, but his changeup has gotten a lot better. So I'm really excited about him. I really love Brady Furness. I don't want to put too much emphasis with a freshman, but he is a really gritty kid. He swings from the left side. Just one of those scrappy guys that just finds a way to make things happen. He's a good base runner. So we're really going to try and give him a shot and see if he can win second base. So I'm really excited about Brady. There's a couple other coming up from the JV that, could find some roles. Logan Freeman, Charlie Ray. I think Brian Elliott, I've mentioned his name before, possibly starting at third base if we can move Buyer over to first base, or depending upon when Byer's pitching, somebody's got to play over there at third too. So I'm really excited about Brian Elliott. He's another that just works his tail off and is eat up with the game. And the game has a tendency to reward players like that.
No doubt. Sorry about forgetting to hit the mute button right there. You're talking about the Furness, it always brings back memory of the old school LSU great Eddie Furness that hit a bunch of home runs down there. So maybe you can recapture some magic with the Furness name in your program like the old LSU days back in the Gorilla Ball era.
That'd be fine by me.
No doubt about it. I'm sure you'd love to have that one in there. So obviously you got the good mix of, a lot of the older guys returning with some of these young guys. You're looking to make some big strides. What some expectations you guys got for your program going through the holidays and into the spring coming up?
Well, I don't want to sound cocky or whatever, but our expectation is to compete for a conference championship, to win a conference championship, to continue to progress. We play a tremendously tough schedule. We have Hartsville, we have Lugoff Elgin that we play. We have Andrew Jackson, who's been a perennial 2A power. Those are three of our non-conference games. We play Wilson Hall, who's another storied program. They're in Sumter through the private schools. So we really test ourselves with some non-conference games. And then in our tournaments, we also going to be playing Gilbert in one non-conference game. In the tournament, we're going to be playing South Aiken. We're going to be playing J.L. Mann. We've got some really tough games. Our goal, I don't care about what our record is, honestly. Our goal is to just keep fighting and keep improving and be peaking at the right time at the end of the season. Obviously, you do well in the conference, you're going to be hosting some playoff games, and that's going to be key for us to try and win the conference championship so we can host as many as possible. We do play a lot better on our field. It's a gigantic field. It seems to be an advantage for us. So hopefully, we can do what we're supposed to do to host as many games as possible when it counts the most in the playoffs.
You kind of leading into my very last question here, talking about that schedule. What games, tournaments are you guys most looking forward to on that schedule?
Well, I don't want to place any more emphasis on one or the other. We've got to live day by day. Even when we're not playing a game, it's important for us to be winning that practice, whatever we're doing in practice that day. So, we obviously have a tremendous rivalry with Lugoff Elgin. They're close. We have a tremendous rivalry with Hartsville, both really storied 4A programs. We've had some real barn burners with those guys over the years, and you know, those are games that our guys like to kind of pencil in ahead of time. I try not to look at it that way, but sometimes you can't help the way those kids are going to be thinking when it comes to those rivalry games. So I guess you could possibly say those are kind of ones that we kind of look forward to. But we're really excited about being a part of the RBI preseason tournament over at White Knoll. They've done a great job with theirs over the last several years, and we've competed well. Hopefully, we can. We started off. We didn't do too well 2 years ago. Last year we did better, lost in the championship game, and maybe this year we'll take another step forward and win that Red Bank Invitational, the RBI.
Well, kind of like you talked about, right? You play some harder, non-conference games, non-region games to kind of get you prepared as you roll in. Obviously, a lot of really, really great baseball right around you guys. So you don't have to go far from there. So Coach, we definitely appreciate you hopping on with us today. I know we had to do a little bit of rescheduling because you guys are in an important battle in football this fall and had a heck of a season with the state championship in the state championship game there. So, first of all, I want to congratulate there. Second, thank you for coming on. And third, wish you guys nothing but the best luck this spring as we're looking forward to coming on out there and watching you guys play.
Well, hey, again, I want to reiterate how much I appreciate you guys. You've done a great job of really helping out high school sports, especially our South Carolina baseball players and throughout the state. And really appreciate what you guys do. And it's an honor for me to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.